just a few minutes, if not a minute, we'll welcome Matthias back to Earth, and we'll get to hear from him about his experience in a solo mission. He did have internet. Typically, we do not provide internet during the missions because the laws of physics and the speed at which light travels does not allow for internet on Mars. However, in this particular mission, we really want to play with the psychology side of it. We're just focused on CO2 sequestration and emission. And so we'll get to hear from him about what it's like for him to be alone inside for 2 weeks. And with that, how do we do time? Okay, good. You're up. He told me last thing that he wanted to stay in for 2 weeks, so maybe he's not
So I'm used to watching people get this done.
Well, it was a serendipitous laundry run last night that explains why everyone's here. I was doing laundry and ran into Maya and said, "What are you guys doing here?" She said, "Well, we're astronauts." I said, "Perfect, we're astronauts." So there you go. Okay, let's cheer the 4 years.
Sure. I don't know what to say. It's nice out here. It's nice breathing fresh air.
The media crew are welcome to ask questions, or I can read
Sure.
questions, whatever you guys
I'll
want to do.
do whatever. We've got a question.
Jamil?
How does it feel to be outside and with the air?
Feels hot. I was in a pretty controlled environment, so it was about 77 degrees. The test module did get pretty hot during the day, but I'd kick on the AC units during the day, and that night I'd turn on the heater because it would get extra cold in there. Other than that, it was nice. I don't know where I was going with that. So, temperature-wise, yeah, it's hot. I'm already sweating. And it's kind of weird because I'm used to working in this environment like every day I walk. So, getting taken away from it and dropped right back into it, it's a different feeling. I enjoy it though. I enjoy the looking forward to fresh air feeling. You know, it's kind of it kind of makes you appreciate a lot of things, and being in there was a very unique vegetables in there, but as we all know, vegetables after a week or so go bad. So I had to plan my meals so I wouldn't waste them, and I still wasted a half, 3/4 of a bell pepper and a full cucumber. So it's very different in a confined environment because with my body type or my personality, I work, and when I work, I eat to supplement calories. If I don't work, I don't eat. So in there, I literally lost weight because I wasn't eating, because I wasn't, even working out wasn't quite enough. So I think the next time I'll go through, now I know what I ate and what I just thought I would eat and never touched. So now I can go back and like, okay, next time we just don't put this in, we put this in. I want to bake a loaf of bread, but I brought too much bread in almost, so I didn't. So it's little things like that. For the most part, missing food, not really. It was missing eating. The sensation to eat is what I missed. And I sometimes had to like, oh God, I got hummus again, you know, and bagel. So, but after a while, I was like, yeah, this isn't too bad. So I guess, you know, I really did try and put myself in a situation where, I love Mars, and The Martian is one of my favorite movies, so I watched it like 8 times. So getting that perspective from Mark Watney, it's like, okay, he had to ration all this, and, you know, he had ketchup that he ran out of, and, you know, during the movie, he's like, quit wasting ketchup, you know, stop doing that, because you just don't know. And I think the first week or so, I went into that survival mode. So everything was, you know, I didn't eat that much. I didn't eat normally what I would eat in the amount because I was afraid I wouldn't have it. So it's the same thing as hiking out here in the desert with water, you know. People die in the desert with water on them. And it's because they're so afraid that they're going to run out of water that they don't drink. So I kind of got a sense of that when I was in there. It's like, okay, I got to really buckle down and eat and really pay attention to my diet. So all in all, I had my vitamins in there too, so I did well. If I was going to go in for a 3-week stay, then there are some things I would change. That I would, diet-wise and sleep-wise. And our flight plan, we really didn't get it together until the last minute. So I'll be more prepared on that, food, meal plan, but everything with the WPA, doing all these sessions at 1 in the morning, and it just threw everything off, and I just lost track of time. So time management, scheduling is super important. Super important. If you're going to do anything sustained for any amount of time, you've got to have a schedule. If you don't have a schedule, you'll get off schedule, and then it'll throw everything out of whack. And then you're trying to scramble to catch up, and you get frustrated, anxiety kicks in, and then you're like, why am I here? So it was a good experience to actually work through that. It's like, okay, I got to get my stuff together. It's okay. You know, I've got everything in front of me that I need. I just got to put it in order. And once I did that, it was the last 6 days was pretty much gravy train. So it took a while to get to that point. It took a good 5-6 days. And me going on a vegetarian diet as a meat eater the week before and 2 weeks in, I did lose weight a lot. You know, my energy was down, but I was able to work through it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but I just don't like losing weight because I can't afford to. So, yeah. So, all right. Let's see. Oh shoot! I saw her first.
How did you come up with being alone?
How do I cope with being alone? With this guy right here. I also watched Castaway a lot. So I watched a lot of movies that were isolation type movies, right? Like Castaway, The Martian. I watched 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the original. So it was like the submarine type environment. I watched old flick, First Men in the Moon. Yeah, you know, everybody's running around the moon without gloves on and stuff. It's kind of funny back in the 40s how they depicted the moon to be as they didn't have the technology to really know what it was like. I mean, shoot, back in 1900, what they thought it was cheese still. So, you know, we've come a long way. But being alone, it's a matter of keeping busy, right? It's a matter of, I have books. I did a lot of book reading. I actually painted something, which is kind of weird for me. But I did it and I enjoyed it. I may start doing that more. You know, there was some things I took in there and I'm like, maybe I took my guitar in there and I really don't play guitar, but I started playing it a little bit. It's like, yeah, maybe I will pick that up some more. So you find things to do and you find yourself, I didn't talk to myself too much, but I would talk out loud. And it'd be like, stop being an idiot, or, you know, just like focus. You know, I have to be verbal. I'm very emotional, I wear my emotions on my shoulders. So, you know, I do yell at myself in the mirror. It's like, what are you doing, man? You know? But that helps me. That helps me progress and helps me keep my sanity. So, all in all, I thought it would be worse, but it wasn't. It wasn't so bad. Yes.
Your diurnal cycles of light and dark, were they adjusted anywhere in there for you? So it was, did you have the conditions like you have here in Tucson? Or were they adjusted to reflect the differences on whichever extraterrestrial body to which you were traveling?
I didn't hear the first part of that question.
Yeah, the light dark cycles, so your diurnal, were those adjusted to, did they reflect what you have in Tucson?
I see what you're saying.
Or are they like Moon or Mars kind of thing?
Well, I had pretty much a lot of the course blocked off. Unless I went to the test module, that's when I was like, okay, it's really daytime. But when I was in my crew quarters, I could really isolate it to where it felt like it was dark all the time, or I couldn't see out all the time. I naturally get up at 6:30, 6:45, so that never changed. So I'd get up at 6:45, I'm like, oh, I don't need to be up this early. So I'd go back to sleep. Then wake up 20 minutes later, maybe I'll get up. So I think in this short span, it really didn't affect me. And I just did a mission up in the Arctic Circle with the Mars Society, a flashlight. And that was a trip because it was always light. So I would work till 1:30 in the morning and still be light. And people were like, you need to go to bed. I'm like, what do you, oh crap, it's 1 in the morning. So there I was affected more by the no light situation than here, I feel. But I don't know, I think we could do things to simulate that in this facility in the future. Like this Mars yard's not completely done yet. It'll be very immersive once it's complete. So that's something I can bring up to the table as well as how to upgrade and to really give that authentic experience, because this is one of the highest fidelity facilities on the planet. And to make it even better, that's where the science is, right? You know, we need places like this to be able to do the science that's going to make us survive off-world. And you know, a lot of people may think it's a joke, and a lot of people may think, well, you know, we're never going to go there. We're far away from that, but we're really not. You know, and in the grand scheme of things, I say in the next 30, 40 years, somebody's going to be traveling to Mars. It's inevitable. And what we're doing here really is helping figure out how to survive, how food works. Like everything in there, I had to dehydrate all my food scraps and then grind them in a Nutribullet. And then that ground up dehydrated food is what we would feed our mycelia or our mushrooms that we grow. And we've had crews in here before that did so. So there's a lot of things that we need to learn how to recycle. Gray water is a hard thing to figure out. Black water or black waste is just, it's another level. But if we can figure out a way in this facility to harvest the gray water, process it, and use it as clean water, that's another huge step of figuring things out. And, you know, and the plants, the bioregenerative life support systems. This is what this facility was built for. And I feel this experiment worked. Just by looking at the CO2 levels today versus when I first came in versus when we killed all the plants and then I went solo, it's a thing. And I'm pretty excited to see the actual results from it. But we all need to work together. We all need to make sure that we got each other's backs on this because we are few and far between right now. And the world's kind of in a chaotic mess and no one sees this as anything but a playground. And we got to prove to people that this isn't a playground. This is real science. We're really doing something good here. And I'm absolutely proud to be part of it and to be able to do this. Yes, ma'am.
So after being locked in there for 2 weeks, can you imagine how the original Biosphere 2 experiment must have felt, and can you like extrapolate how that would feel for you to be trapped in there for longer?
Sure. So one of my closest friends is here today that opened the airlock, Linda Lane. And she was one of the original Biosphereans, you guys know. And I have often picked her brain about this, about how she kept from being bored, how she processed things. Because when she went in, she didn't have the crew quarters or the engineering bay. She had a test module full of plants and a lump. And she was in there for 3 weeks. So that to me is just incredible. And just me being in there for 2 weeks with 1/8 of the plants that you had, it's mind-boggling. It really
I'm
is.
already kind of a hermit, so it wasn't difficult for me.
But I can understand a little bit at least what you guys were going through, the process that you had to do when you were in there for 2 years. And it was, you guys had schedules, you guys had meal plans, you guys, had to farm and to do this and do that. And to be able to put that all together in a sequence and stick with it. And sticking with it is the hardest thing. The absolute hardest thing is sticking with a schedule. My flight plan was all over the place. I was working at 5 p.m. instead of 9 a.m. I was eating lunch at 2 p.m. instead of noon. So it's a matter of once I settled in and started working my flight plan, everything got easier. But it's that disarray that really makes it difficult to really focus on your objective and your mission objective. And being former military myself, it's all about the mission. It's all about completing the mission and doing it safely and getting out alive. So I was never in worry of anything in there. I was in there for a 58-hour study, so I already had a baseline of what was going on. And this was just pretty much a continuation of that. So I was in no danger CO2 levels. I think when I got out, it was just over 4,500. But man, when you go eat turkey dinner and stuff, it's 20, 25, 3,000 in your house. When you sleep, you don't even know that you're at 25, 2,600 because you're in a confined room, right? So the fact is that we're actually measuring it makes people nervous. And I'm here to really tell you guys there's nothing to be nervous about until it hits about 9 or 10,000. That's when you get your naval guys and the nuclear submarines are down for 6, 7 months at a time. They have to actually to counteract the CO2 poisoning. So that's some hardcore stuff. So I was never in danger, and it was actually good to see the synergy between the plants and myself, and then without the plants there, how it just skyrocketed. So pretty excited for the next run, actually. Yes, ma'am.
I have a quick question. So, do you see any changes in your sleep patterns? That's the first question. Do you see any changes, like the way how you sleep? Do you wake up in the middle of the night?
Absolutely saw changes. I woke up multiple times in the night. Sometimes I woke up sweat, and sometimes I would wake up 2 or 3 times in the night to go to But when you wake up and you realize you're not in your own bed, it kind of trips you out a little bit at first, and you kind of got to settle back down and say, okay, I'm in this, day 5, day 6, and I did journals, I did video journals, took lots of pictures, made sure that, I got as much data as I possibly could about whoever's going there next. What's the
And a follow-up question, did you monitor any parameters such as blood pressure? Did you take any blood biochemistry? I don't know if you can disclose this information. It's a part of this experiment to check the level of cortisol, for example. If you have a spike in cortisol, and by the end of the experiment, this is stabilized. So, do you think this is important for this kind of experiments?
I think it is important, but we did not do that this time. This time we were just mainly trying to see what the plants would scrub. That was pretty much it. 2 weeks, it was enough time. Now, if we go longer, yes, I absolutely expect that. And I did weigh myself every morning. So I would progressively see my weight drop until it plateaued. And like the last 5 days, it stayed there. So, which was kind of weird for me. I thought I'd just continue losing weight, but I stopped. I don't know what else I was going to say there.
Any dreams or nightmares?
Well, I had a few dreams, I guess. I'm not a real big dreamer. I just, or I don't remember them as much. I did have a dream the other day that I went back to my high school. I was seeing all these guys from high school. And I was talking to this one guy that I thought I knew, but it was his son, but he looked just like him in high school type thing. So it was just like weird little dreams like that. But no, not really. I was more focused on being in the now, I guess. Yes, sir.
So, do you still follow your regular sleep meal patterns or 2 meal pattern, or do you just eat mainly because you feel hunger, or it's just according to it's time to eat or something like that?
So that's the other thing. I was hungry a lot, but to eat, I had to take the food, process the food, weigh the food. So it was a whole deal. I couldn't just go to the fridge and just pop stuff, right? I think that was another reason why I lost weight, because it was like, man, I don't want to have to cook this stew. It takes me 2 hours, and soak beans overnight type thing, because a lot of the stuff that we have in there, most of it's dehydrated stores. So you have to dehydrate. You have to, like I said, I have a whole spreadsheet I had to fill out: water, waste, food, and activity. So what I did, what time. So I think it went in quarter-hour increments. And so the whole time I've got a whole spreadsheet of, okay, it was entertainment, which was, reading or something, or playing a video game. I did play a couple of video games. Or I was playing the guitar, or I was painting, or I was watching a Jackson launch, which I watched the other day. So I watched quite a few rocket launches as well. So a lot of the times, it was a matter of I had to write it down, so I didn't think so much. I don't think.
I'm going to jump in just for a moment. For those of you from the gastronomy conference, it is 11:15, and I